guys, welcome to this week's Friday Waffle. Now, I did say I wasn't going to be able to do this until Sunday because because I'm out on Saturday and Friday. I have to basically record it on a Thursday sometimes, and because I had my my COVID injection on, what day did I get it on? Wednesday, I think it was. I wasn't great. I had it on was it Wednesday or Thursday? When did I get it? No, I got it on Tuesday, I should say. Got the Dragon Tuesday, and absolutely fine. Got it at 1 o'clock on Tuesday. Felt fine, no pain in the arm at all. And then Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, I was feeling a wee bit kind of feverish, feeling really hot, really warm, but nothing too bad. I took a couple of Nurofen, and then when I woke up 6:30 in the morning, I just felt a wee bit warm, but nothing too bad. So I went to work, that was Wednesday, and then yesterday I literally felt like I'd been hit by a train. not so much sore, just really fatigued. I felt like somebody had I don't know, I felt like what somebody would feel like if they'd been hit by a train. Just totally no energy, completely lifeless, and just absolutely knackered. So last night I said I was planning to record the waffle last night, and I thought, I can't do this, I've just got nothing in me at all. So had an early night, but it's now Friday, and I feel fine, feel absolutely fine, which is good. So I'm glad to have the Jag. I've got the AstraZeneca, I think it's called. I've heard various things about different jabs, but you know what, if it's going to stop me getting the virus, then it's going to be a good thing. So anyway, it's Friday, thank God. It's nice and sunny, driving home from work. Excuse me. This is actually the last Friday I'll be driving home, because start my new job on the 19th of April. I'm working next Monday and Tuesday, and then I'm off Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Be nice just to get a bit of time to kind of recuperate and basically do nothing. So look forward to starting a new job. I will be sad to leave the job I'm in at the moment. I mean, although the travelling's a bit of a pain in the arse, you know, I have enjoyed my time there, and like I says, I will be sad to leave, but I do firmly believe I'm making the right decision, you know. So anyway, have I got anything to talk about? Still waiting on my what do you call it, Jammer Pi board thing. Basically what that'll allow me to do is to connect up, a Raspberry Pi to the arcade, and then basically use my arcade cabinet and play thousands of games. So look forward to getting that. My mate Ian has already said that he'll be able to come across, because thankfully things are now gradually starting to kind of return to normal, from a kind of a life point of view. I'm planning to go into Edinburgh with my daughter tomorrow. I don't know. Excuse me. I'm so rude. Yawning. I'm planning to go into town with my daughter tomorrow. I don't know what's open. I don't know what shops are going to be open, if cafes are going to be open. I really don't know, but we just need to get out. We need to do something. So that's the plan. That's the plan tomorrow. Going into the town. From a gaming point of view, I managed to. I downloaded this 128 gig retro Pi image, and it's got all the usual systems, you know, your SNES, Mega Drive, all these ones. Oh, excuse me, I think it's because I'm talking too much. I need to start to breathe. Excuse me a second, I'm going to have some of my some water. yeah, it's got all the kind of usual suspects. But what attracted me to this particular image is it apparently has 700, yep, 700 PlayStation games. Now, how that could possibly fit on an SD card, considering it's got all this other stuff. Oh shit, it's terrible. Oh, I'm not even tired because I'm talking. How they can possibly fit 700 PlayStation games on a card plus all the other stuff is beyond me. Now I looked at a few comments and some people were saying yeah you can compact the games, but you know, be aware they've stripped all the music out of them, etc etc etc. Now see, to be honest with you, a bar maybe, I don't know, a few games, it doesn't really bother me when I don't have music. In fact, this is kind of leading on to a different point completely. Music in games doesn't really affect my gameplay. I mean, I've seen me playing games that have got music, and the first thing I do is turn the music down. I think it's catching up with me now. Yeah, I mean, especially race games, can't stand music in race games. But you know, bar from some games, I don't know, I suppose like kind of you've got your Castlevania Symphony of the Night, you've got all your Zelda games. I suppose big masterpiece games like that, you want to have music. But like I said, I don't know, even things like Resident Evil, it wouldn't bother me. In fact, is there music in Resident Evil? No, there's not. I was trying to think about that there. So to not have music in games isn't a deal breaker for me. If it's the difference between being able to play 700 games on a Raspberry Pi and not being able to play 700 games, then I would gladly take it without music. So what is your opinion? Do you think, how important do you think music is to games? Do you think it really adds to them? Obviously, pardon me, God, I'm burping and yawning big style here. Do you really think that it adds a lot to a game? I've never made any secret about shoot 'em ups. I've never been a fan of music in shoot 'em ups or arcade games in general, unless it's Rolling Thunder, of course. I suppose Commando as well. I mean, a few C64 games, Commando has to have music, Monty and the Run has to have music, but in the main, it doesn't really bother me about music in games. I know it does add to the ambience, it adds to the atmosphere, the you know, the whole experience, but as far as games, music missing off all these games in the PlayStation doesn't bother me one iota. So yeah, that's a really excellent image. If anyone's interested, let me know, and I will. I won't post it. What I'll do is I'll post a link to where you can download it. So yeah, that's kind of been that. Have I been doing anything else? I've managed to get a few videos out, which is good. I've got another couple recorded, and like I said, I do want to keep kind of putting some normal videos. Excuse me. Oh, I can't not mention it. I was sad to hear that Prince Philip passed away this afternoon. Now I know there's a lot of people that don't like him, there's a lot of people that don't like the royalty, and I'm not going to go into that in this video at all. I don't do politics or anything like that at all, but yeah, sad to see him go. At the end of the day, there's, you know, like I said, I have my own views and things, and by all accounts, I don't think he was a particularly nice person, but you know what, he is someone's dad, he is someone's granddad, and more importantly, he's somebody's husband that's died. So you know, you do feel sorry for them. I do feel sorry for the Queen. You know, where was I going to go with this? I can't remember what I was going to do. But aye, you know. So the thing is, he was like the Queen. They're an institution. They're part of tradition. Are they still valid in today's world? I don't know. Again, I've got my own views on that, and I'm not going to go into them in this video. But you know what? It's just another it's just another tiny little part of my childhood chipped away. The more people that I remember as a kid and a young adult, whatever, who've passed away, it's just another sort of wake-up call to think, blimey, who's next? Hopefully not me for a wee while. I'm going to be so I need to concentrate here. I usually just sit about 60 miles an hour, but this guy's doing 50 on the motorway, so I'm going to pull out and get out. Now what I've done, and I have been careful, what I've done is I've printed off the questions that were asked for last week, and I've printed in nice big writing so I can see them, but I'm not going to attempt to look at it just now. I'm going to get past all these lorries and what have you. Now you know what I should have done? I couldn't have done it. What I should have done, rather than you looking at my ugly face, what I should have done is, if I had the possibility of doing it, is recording the road, and I could have done one of my outrun specials again, but I don't, so you're stuck with me for the next 45 minutes, whatever it is. Right, hang on, I'm just going to tuck in here and look at my first question. So anyway, right, first one, Del Boy, bit late, but never mind, well you weren't late at all. What's the greatest question you would ask Muhammad Ali? Well, hang on a wee second guys, I need to pull out here again because it's getting a bit chock-a-block. And the last thing I want to do is be involved in a car crash because I was trying to read comments for a Friday Waffle. Right, I'm good to go. What's the greatest question you would ask Muhammad Ali if he was alive, and who would you love to interview in the sporting world? Oh, that's a good question. Obviously that was following on from I was talking about my heroes. Yeah, in fact I was talking about Evil Knievel, Bruce Lee and what do you call it, Muhammad Ali. What would I ask him? I don't know, I think I'd just like to ask him, how did it feel to be the greatest, not just the greatest boxer, but to be regarded as one of the most iconic sporting legends of all time, which he is. I mean, I can't think of any sporting person that is well regarded as Muhammad Ali. Yeah, there's lots of sporting legends, you know, there's George Best, there's suppose like Michael Johnston, there's Babe Ruth, yeah, there's snooker players and all that, but I don't think anyone has come close to what Muhammad Ali achieved. You know, he stood by his beliefs. He was a great, I mean, he really he was a great ambassador for black people and as fellow human beings. He was an amazing person, and what he achieved was, you know, when there was a lot of still black racism was alive and kicking back then, he really, you know, he stood up. And what I loved about him was his arrogance, but he was arrogant in a nice way. People loved him, but he used to tell people that he was the greatest, and he could tell people that because he was the greatest, and he wasn't afraid to tell people that. I think that's brilliant. You know, people going about sports people saying, oh, they're cocky and they're arrogant and they're big-headed. You know what? If you weren't arrogant and cocky and big-headed, then you'd never be the best. To be the best at sport, you have to be like that. One of my idols, in a sort of lesser sense, is Eric Bristow. He was an amazing darts player, and again, I loved his arrogance. He was just so cocky. I mean, what was he called? The crafty cockney. He was just so cocky, he was so arrogant. He told people how good he was, but the thing is, he lived up to it. He absolutely lived up to everything that he stood for. So I like that, But yeah, I think I'd just like to ask Muhammad Ali, how did it feel to be regarded as the most iconic, legendary sports person of all times? Sports people that I'd love to talk to. I'm just trying to think. I don't know, I'm kind of stuck between two people. The first one would be Sir Roger Bannister, who, if you didn't know, he was the first person to break the 4-minute mile. Now the ironic thing was, within 2 weeks of him breaking 4 minutes, apparently there was something like 6 people had bettered him within 2 weeks. And that's an interesting thing. It goes to show that people, or the human race, will think that something is unachievable until somebody goes and does it. And people always thought that to run 4 minutes, to run a mile in under 4 minutes was impossible. And then Roger Bannister went and did it. And then as soon as he'd done it, people suddenly realised, wait, hang on a second, it's no longer impossible. Hang on a second, they can bugger off. Yeah, he proved that it was possible, and that just opened the floodgates. And like I said, within it was something like a couple of weeks, there was a handful of people had gone and actually bettered them, which is incredible. But I would love to ask Sir Roger Bannister, how did it feel to be the first person to break 4 minutes? That must have been an incredible thing. I mean, I would love to talk to, was it Sir Edmund Hillary? Was he the first man to climb Everest? That must be a special thing to be able to do that. That would be just incredible. I know he's technically not a sports person, but yeah, Sir Roger Bannister. And the second person I'd love to speak to, I think, would be Gabri. I can never remember. Gabri Herlassi. Haile Gebrselassie. Now, if you don't know who he is, and apologies for pronouncing his name completely wrong, Haile Gebrselassie. He was probably the greatest marathon runner in history. You know, he was just amazing, an amazing runner. In fact, you know what, I'm just thinking, I'm saying him, and there's actually somebody else who I'm going to say instead, and it's a guy called Don Ritchie. Don Ritchie was, he was a long distance runner, a Scottish guy. He's now passed away, and Don Ritchie largely is unknown to most people unless you're into kind of ultra running. The reason being is the distances that he ran were absolutely phenomenal, and they were like basically too far, so he never got any recognition. He was never in the Olympics, not that I'm aware of. I don't think he ran the marathon in the Olympics, but he was an incredible runner. He still holds a number of world records. Now, I don't know if any of you guys run at all, but one of the records that he holds was he managed to run 100 miles, 100 miles, and he averaged less than 6 minutes per mile. Now, if anybody runs, you'll probably know how fast to run a mile in 6 minutes is. I couldn't do it now. I absolutely could not do it now. I couldn't run. I think about 3 years ago I managed to run a single mile in just under 7 minutes, and that was it. That was 1 mile. This guy managed to run 100 miles, and every single mile that he did, he ran it quicker than 6 minutes. Just phenomenal. So yeah, I think although I said Haile Gebrselassie, I think I would love to speak to Don Ritchie and just find out how he managed to do that, because what an absolutely incredible person. So thank you, Dale. Colin Jones, great waffle and bonus content. You never disappoint with your answers. So here's another food-based one. Sunday dinners, traditional roast, or just eat anything that comes to mind. You know what, Colin? I don't think I have ever been a type of person that has traditional food on particular days. I think it's quite an old-fashioned thing. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love a Sunday roast. But no, for many years. In fact, I don't think in all the time that I've been born, even with mum and dad, and when I've been living with people, there's never been a traditional Sunday dinner. It's just something that's never ever happened. But I do love the food, but it's never been something I've done And certainly the fact that I live on my own now, a Sunday dinner to me might be a pot noodle and a packet of crisps. It could be scrambled egg, it could be anything, absolutely anything. So no, I'm not a traditionalist when it comes to eating food. I do eat plenty of food, as you can probably tell, but when it comes to traditional, like, eating stuff, I mean, don't get me wrong, Christmas time I'll have turkey, whatever it is, but have I ever been a traditional Sunday dinner person? I haven't, Colin. Excuse me. Kevin Gallagher, great show, been watching you for ages, keep up the retro gaming. Did you get the Vic 20 full size that came out? Now I know some people refer to that as the Maxi. Now I know myself, Panther and Delboy were talking about people referring to the large machine as the Maxi, because the small one is referred to as generally known as the Mini. People talk about the large one as the Maxi. Why not just call it the normal one, because that's the normal size. Did I get the Vic 20 one? No, I didn't, Kevin. The simple reason is the full C64 one emulates the Vic 20, so there is absolutely no reason at all for me to buy it. The only difference from what I can see, I would imagine it's probably the same machine. From what I can probably tell, it's probably exactly the same innards, and it's just a different coloured shell. So I know there's a lot of purist collectors out there that would definitely want to have it just to complete the collection, but nah, I don't see it. Would I ever buy one? I don't know. If I had the chance of getting it very cheap, I would maybe think about it, but in the main, nah, not interested. I can play the Vic 20 quite easily on the C64. So anyway, Kev, thank you for the question. And next one, make sure that's not a, let him get past, it's a guy with a white car. Anyway, right, Panther UK, how many times have you said, right, that's it, then gone out and bought another system? Yeah, well, the thing is, I'm kind of there now. There is really there's no kind of old system that I'm really bothered about using anymore. I've got everything that I want, but there's always going to be new systems that will come along that will pique my interest and I'll think, stuff it. I mean, obviously I bought my new MAME cab. I've not bought anything new for a wee while that I can think of. But nah, I've said that a few times, I mean, and I still stand by that. There's nothing really that I want anymore. But does that mean I'm never going to buy anything again? Hell no. That's what being a gamer's all about. Right, anyway, Milty Swinbuckle, if you could wave a magic wand and go back to any time in video and computer games history to work as a game magazine reviewer. Hang on a second. Let him get bashed just in case somebody's spying on me going, that guy's reading a piece of paper. He's recording a video. Which 3 magazines would you like to have worked for and written reviews for in the style of that magazine? Which 3 magazines? I don't even know if there was 3 that I would want, sorry, I'll need to keep my hands away there. I don't know if there's actually 3 magazines I would want to work for. The obvious answer is going to be Zap 64. Yeah, you know, Zap 64 was the Bible as far as I was concerned, being a C64 man, like most people. I think it would have been great fun to work on. I love the whole work ethic. They were basically gamers first and foremost, who happened to be getting paid money to do what they wanted. So I think Zap. Was there any other magazine that I'd like to have worked on? I suppose Superplay or Mean Machines, because these were magazines that came out right at the time these machines were released in Japan, and you know they were reviewing games that you couldn't buy in the UK for probably months and months and months. So I think that would have been quite an exciting magazine to work for, getting all these, you know, the latest Japanese SNES and the PC Engine and the Neo Geo. yeah, I think Mean Machines would have been quite a cool magazine to work on. I know Julian Rignall, he was like the sort of the editor of it. That and Zap 64. I suppose as well, if I was really pushed for a third one, I think Amiga Power would have been quite a fun one. Bugger off. Somebody keeps trying to phone me. Hopefully it's not an emergency. Yeah, actually, on that note, and I'm going to, hopefully by the time I get home, I will remember to actually do this. I've appeared in Zap. Yes, if anybody buys the Zap Annual came out, Zap 2021 Annual came out. It was released last week. I got my copy yesterday, and blimey, I've only appeared in it. Now, I'm not going to spoil, well no, I'm going to let you see a picture of it. I'm going to let you see pictures of me in this, being in this annual. I've got to say a massive thanks to Paul Moz for doing that. Basically, if you remember Zap, there was the Zap challenge where there was this fictional character who would pick a member of the public to take on one of the Zap reviewers at a game. And when we were doing the 12-hour live stream last, when was it, November or something last year, part of the video, and it wasn't done for that reason, part of the video was I spoke to Paul and says, why don't we do this for a laugh? So we both played this particular game 3 times, and then we compared scores, and Paul said he was going to use it in the Zap magazine, and he did, and I've got to say, that's absolutely fantastic. I'm completely made up to appear in something like that, because obviously these magazines, although they're new, they are going to be, they're going to go down as collector's items. So to appear in not 1 but 2 pages of it, with my ugly mug appearing 3 times, I think it is. Even my dogs, I told my daughter about it and she thought that was brilliant. The fact that my 2 dogs have even got their photo in it is tremendous. So yeah, go and check it out. But yeah, quickly, just to go back to the question, Amiga Power, Zap 64 and Mean Machines. Yeah, finally, and let's see. Yeah, sorry, right. Stephen Elliott. I'm not going to read that because it's far too big. Stephen was talking about my Sunday live stream, and what he's kind of said to me, and it makes sense. About when I'm doing the live stream, I always try and basically play as many games as I can, and I generally don't really get involved with the sort of the chat side. I will look at it from time to time when I'm trying to play a game, but what Stephen's kind of suggesting, and I understand what he's saying, he says don't be afraid, you shouldn't be afraid to pause the video, pause the game and take part in the chat. He says there's no time limit, there's no restriction on how many games I must play, whatever, and just to kind of interact a wee bit more. So no, I totally take on board what you're saying, Stephen. I will be doing that. Just before I forget, by the way, I will be along on Sunday. It's what is it again? It's a CNVG December 1984 special. What I'm going to do is I'm going to be playing. I'm going to be reading through the magazine live, and any game that gets advertised or reviewed, I'm going to play it as well. But what we'll do is we'll read the review, and then I'll play it, and we'll basically see if we agree with the review or not. So something a wee bit different. But thanks for your constructive comments, Stephen. I do appreciate it. And next up is Matt Dysart. Have you seen the AYA Neo handheld gaming PC? Looks good, but the battery life is shite. I don't think I have, Matt. Or I might have had, you know what, I can't actually remember. I've seen a video or something somewhere about some kind of brand new PC. In fact, yeah, I think I did actually, now that I mention it. See, the thing is, I'm not really interested in playing, I don't play modern games. I don't really play many modern games in PCs. So being able to play modern games on a handheld doesn't really interest me. as long as I can play my C64 games, as long as I can play the Amiga, the SNES, whatever, which I can do at the moment, I've not really got any interest in them. Again, if it was ridiculously cheap, I would probably check it out. But nah, I've not got any real interest in modern gaming systems, really, Matt, for that reason. But yeah, interesting to see what it looks like. That's the thing. That is the crux. That is the crux of the problem. You can bring out the best portable gaming system ever. If it's got pants game life or battery life, waste of time as far as I'm concerned. Highlander. If you were stuck on a desert island and you could take one computer console and 3 games, what would they be? Oh, blimey. I get asked that all the time. I'm going to assume... Oh, God. I can't take different systems. Oh, you know what? It would have to be my main cab, I'm afraid to say. And the 3 games that I would take would be Berserk, Robotron and Defender. Because basically these games, not that I'm aware of, I don't think there's any end to them. So I would never get bored. My goodness, I don't know if you can see outside, it is now heavy snow. It's the 9th of April, we're into British summertime apparently, and it is snowing. What is going on with the weather? Nuts. Yeah, I'm going to be setting, was going to overtake this guy. He's doing about 30 miles an hour on the motorway. I absolutely detest people that speed, but I detest people that drive at like 30-40 miles an hour on the motorway. That's just asking for trouble. Yeah, it would have to be these. I mean, I was thinking like, oh, World of Sensible Soccer and the Amiga, but nah, if it was only going to be one system, then it would have to be my arcade cabinet. If it had to be a system rather than like a main cab, oh, what would it be? As much as I love the Vectrex and as much as I love the C64, it wouldn't be any of them. I think it would be, my goodness, this snow is getting heavy, this is crazy. There's the police. What are they doing? There's somebody broken down. Come on, move! That's absolutely mental. Weather-wise. Yeah, anyway, I think it would probably go for the Amiga, and it would be June 2. It would be World of Sensible Soccer, and it would be, oh god, that's off. The snow is now off and the sun is back out again. Crazy. What third game would I go for the Amiga? Oh man, I'm thinking. Yeah, I know it's not going to. What came up there? Does that tell me I'm running out of space? Right, I better cut this short. I think Hybris. Yeah, World of Sensible Soccer, Hybris, and whatever that other game I said. I can't remember what it was. Right, thank you very much, Highlander. And down the rabbit hole. First of all, YouTube are apparently going to hide the number of dislikes on a video, although the channel creator can still see them in the video. So I was curious which of your videos got the most dislikes. I don't know, Kev. I don't know. I think the most dislikes I've had, for some odd reason, appear to be collaboration videos I've made with Lycosa and Panther. Don't know why. I think the thing is, here's the thing. Some people are just arseholes, and they maybe don't like me, or they don't like somebody else, and because of that, they just instantly dislike it. Now, if you bring 2 of your mates on, who also might have people they don't like, then that's going to attract, you've got 3 times the likelihood of somebody giving you a thumbs down. So yeah, I think it tends to be the Sid shows or me, Meister and Chums Talk Pish, but I think it's always been videos that have had Lycosa and Panther in, which I've no idea about, but that's interesting. I mean, I've always said, what is the point of dislikes? It serves no purpose at all. None at all, because giving somebody a dislike actually increases the likelihood of you seeing the video, so it kind of works against the point of it, I think, as far as I'm concerned. Secondly, there's a lot of retro gamers wanting preservation of every game ever existed, especially in light of things when they start turning off servers for the PS3, PSP. But considering how many millions of games exist, I'm wondering, can we preserve them all? I've thought about that myself. I mean, games now can run to like 60 gig. I suppose, you know what, Kev? I mean, I keep going on about it. It still beggars belief that, you know, back in the day, you know, it would take 10 minutes to load a Commodore 64 game. Now, I mean, I was mentioning it earlier on, 128 gig SD card. So you imagine in 10 years down the line, you're going to get the internet speed is going to be faster, definitely, without a shadow of doubt. So downloading a 60 gig game will not be an issue. And then and no matter what happens, piracy will ensure that these games are available, whether it's news groups, whether it's torrents. And in 10 years time, you're probably going to get a 10 terabyte SD card. So yeah, I think that preserving even modern games is definitely going to be possible, because if somebody had told me back in 1985 that I would be able to have the entire collection of my C64 games, plus all the arcade games, plus all the SNES games and Mega Drive games and Amiga games and Atari S games on a handheld, I would have thought they're absolutely off their rocker. So I think that's definitely one, Kev. And finally, I realise you're not a drinking man, but this week I found out about a notorious Scottish wine that is banned in other countries. It's called Buckfast. What is it, and have you ever had it? Yeah, Buckfast. It's well, to start off, I have never tasted this stuff. I've always fancied tasting it just to see how awful it is. From what I gather, it's kind of like an oil-based consistency, very, very oily, and what I've been told is it's a very, very preferred taste. Not everybody's going to like it. In fact, most people that have tasted it think it's disgusting. It doesn't even sound nice. The thing is, it's actually brewed by monks in Scotland, and it's got a notorious reputation. People tend to kind of associate Buckfast with basically scallywags and, you know, people who wear hooded jackets. But like I say, fortunately I've never actually tasted it. But yeah, it is a pop. I think it's a tonic wine they call it. Yeah, and apparently it is brewed by monks. But for whatever reason, it's just become the preferred drink of some Scottish people, but I'm not one of them. So thank you very much, Kev. And last question, ye oldie gamer Steve, what's the most bizarre way you've broken a piece of hardware or disc tape? Are you perfect, or have you never ruined anything? The most bizarre way I've broken something? I don't think I've ever, you know what, I'm actually very, very careful. I've never dropped and smashed anything before. I've never dropped anything into the bath. I once dropped a phone down the toilet, but from a gaming point of view, I honestly can't think. Well, I'll tell you what's the most interesting one was, and I need to be quick because this phone's going to run out of space. Back in about 5 years ago, when I got my Neo Geo MVS system, I plugged it into this multi-SCART adapter, and then I went to play my PC Engine and I discovered that it wasn't working. No, in fact, I'll tell a lie. When I switched my Neo Geo on, it was the light for, when I switched my Neo Geo on, the light for my PC Engine came on. I'm like, how the hell is that? How can that be? And I checked the the Neo, so I checked the PC Engine power, and it wasn't switched on, but the light on the unit was coming on. And then I then discovered, once we just arrived at home, but I'll just finish this video. I then discovered that when I switched the what do you call it, the Neo Geo on, it was making the light come on, and I narrowed it down that there must have been some sort of power was going through the SCART cable from the Neo Geo into my multi-box, and then it was going back up the cable into the PC Engine. Now I just thought that was a bit odd, but when I switched off my NVS and went to try my my PC Engine, the PC Engine had stopped working. So basically the power from the Neo Geo had actually short-circuited the PC Engine, which was a bizarre one. Yeah, mental. Anyway, thank you very much, Kev. And listen, the very last comment I've got here, Cauldron of Stardust. Main Meister, concerning your comments about not liking the video game scene now, I'm sorry, but I could not disagree with you more when it comes to the appropriation of video gaming culture into the mainstream today. Unlike you, I think it's a wonderful thing. I think I know what you're talking about, Cauldron. I think I maybe came across incorrectly. I've maybe picked me up wrong. I'm not saying that I dislike the scene now. I think for me, it's too mainstream now, and I know you're saying that's a good thing because you were embarrassed about talking about videos, but it's just kind of got too popular now for me. Too mainstream, you know. There was something that I really liked about it when it was still quite small. It was still exciting. There was new games coming out, there was new systems, there was new software houses. It all felt a lot more exciting. Now I just find the whole kind of modern gaming scene pretty boring, you know. Hence the reason I tend to kind of still to stick to kind of old systems. But no, I mean, absolutely, it is. To be a gamer now is great because you've got all these different systems. Well, no, you don't actually. I'm talking rubbish. You don't have all these different systems. You've only got modern systems. But yeah, I mean, I suppose it is a good time to be a gamer because technically you can buy all the modern consoles. You can buy on eBay all the old consoles for not much money. They'll say that the prices has gone up, unless you want a Vectrex, which is a ridiculous price. But anyway, and then you've also got these wonderful things like Raspberry Pis, so you can play all these games, all these systems on a Raspberry Pi for not much money. So it is a good time to be a gamer. But for me personally, I just think it lacks the excitement. Everything was new, it was great, it was just getting made up as we went along. So that's why I did prefer the olden days when it wasn't as popular. Now you go into Facebook and there's millions of folks selling PlayStation 4s and all this. It's just very big, and that's why I don't have any real interest in modern gaming. But anyway, listen, thank you very much for all your questions. Please keep them coming. I will be along on Sunday night, 6 o'clock till 8. Like I say, it's a computer and video games December 1984 special. I'll be playing all the games that were featured in it, whether it's reviewed or adverts. Finally, guys, thanks very much to everybody that's taking time to subscribe to the channel, to continue watching my videos and supporting me. I do appreciate it. And finally, guys, have an absolutely excellent weekend. And as always, thank you very much for watching.